What's going on, everybody? John Eric Poli here with my MMA news, and today's guest just defeated Krzysztof Jotko by a first-round submission at UFC Vegas 61 to earn a Performance of the Night bonus. Pleased today to be joined by Brendan Allen. Brendan, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy following the win there. You're in the car right now with your kids, so thanks for being here, man. Really appreciate making the time for this.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, no problem at all. And we'll just talk right now. We'll get right into it about this whole performance here. Obviously, fight happened a few days ago. Some time to let it all sink in. It was a great performance. Just how you feeling after a big win like that?
Thank you. I feel good, man. Obviously, there's always little things you could change, little techniques that we could be better at. But overall, I'm happy. I'm satisfied, and yeah, man, I'm super happy with it. Can't. There's nothing to complain about.
Yeah, man, it's hard to complain about anything like that when you get out of there in the first round and put on the performance that you put on there. One of the things too, right, in the lead up to this fight, we had done an interview and you were so confident. You knew you were better everywhere. You thought that a lot of the training partners that you had were actually better versions of him. Obviously, you felt that confident for a reason because of that hard work that you get down there at the gym and everything. Just, talk about that a little bit, about why you were so confident that you were going to get the win, just to remind everybody that, you knew going in this was probably going to be the case, that you were getting out of there pretty quick.
I I'm usually always pretty confident going in, and but don't get me wrong, man. I have my doubts, my questions. Um, just like everyone else. They hit at different times, and that's what I've been trying to fix. Mentally. But ultimately, yeah, I was just super confident. I watched his tapes. I've seen all his fights, and I know how I am, and I know where I'm good at, what I'm good at, and what I thought is how it happened. I thought I was going to be stronger, bigger, faster, and just better, and that's just how it played out from what we had happen. I would have liked to strike a little bit more with him. To be honest, I thought I was going to knock him out. That was my feeling going out to the cage when I was making the walk the night before. All that I felt like I was just going to knock him out, and I thought it in the fight too. When I kicked him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to knock you out at some point. But hey, I'm not complaining. A finish is a finish. A win's a win. And I did something I don't think anyone's done in his career, so I'll take it.
And obviously, in order to do that, you had such a crafty move on the ground. I believe Dominic Cruz was referring to. I believe he called it a leg lock. I believe. Dom still go with his analogies and the words that he uses for everything too. So essentially, you were on your back. You were actually able to trap his leg in a position that he couldn't really do anything, which then led into the transition of you getting on top and then ultimately finished the fight. Just talk about that, like, that craftiness that you have there, because it's so hard to do. Like, you don't see many people do that off of their back. It was such a, like I said, a real crafty thing that you were able to do there in that moment.
To be honest, it's super, super, super basic. Like it's like white belt stuff. To be honest, it was just like a lockdown, and I just kept him there, stabilized, and I was just feeling where his position was at. To be honest, it was for me. It was just a feel. I knew his leg kept staying close to my body. He didn't base out, which is great. I mean, either way, there's escapes from both sides, but I just wanted to see what he was doing. And based on where his weight was, where his shoulder pressure was, his strength, where his knee was, how he moved, I knew I would be able to just quickly explode and burst. And that's what happened. I don't feel like it was tricky or advanced or anything like that. It's super, super, super basic, to be honest. Um, yeah, it's just a rookie mistake on his part. He should have gave me the harder route where I had to shrimp and escape and to make that space that way. But I'll take what I got.
Yeah, I say definitely not going to complain there, because obviously, it did then lead to what finished the fight. So you transition, you get on the top. From there, transition into taking his back rear naked choke. Talk about that transition too, and how, because that was so smooth and clean as well.
Um, yeah, I just felt I was stronger. So when I picked him up, I felt how light he was, and it was almost like a suplex, like lat drop type deal. So I knew even if he kind of had his base about him, that I would still muscle him over. And then as I transitioned, once we landed, I just floated into mount, and it just kind of worked out that way. And I just ended up in mount, went half guard because it's to me I like that position better. So the gift wrapped or scarf hold, whatever people want to call it nowadays. Hold on, why are you taking the kids? Just go write them a check and come. Um, but yeah, that's my favorite position. That position, it just works out so well for me. I've got so many submissions from that. I don't know. People just always make the wrong moves there. So I'll take it. That's like I said, it's my favorite position, and I knew once I had that position, if he moved any which way, which he would have to, or I was going to hit him, that I would finish him, and luckily that happened.
Yeah, and it played out exactly how you want it to play out there. One thing about afterwards, too, that I wanted to ask you about, there was a moment on the broadcast, and I don't know if you got to watch it back or not, but from the broadcast, it looked like there was a moment where you were kind of, going over to shake hands or whatever. I don't know if he kind of pushed you off or whatever. I believe they worded on the broadcast something like, oh, I guess these two don't want to settle it right now, or something along those types of lines. But then it went to commercial break and then came back on. So did you guys at any moment exchange words and have anything nice to say to each other, or was it maybe a little beef or anything like that?
I mean, he didn't say anything. I don't know if he couldn't understand like me, but I feel like he understands English. Uh, but I mean, I just told him thanks for the opportunity. It was a pleasure. You know, for me, it's just business. At least with him, it was just business. He didn't cross any boundaries that I find thing. No one really has except for like one person, but it was just business for me. He talked shit to my friend before he fought him, so when I found out we were gonna fight, I was talking shit right off the bat. And maybe it was in his head a little bit. I don't know. I can't speak for him. I don't know. He didn't really say. He didn't. If he did say anything, I didn't hear it after the fight. I tried to shake his hand, whatever. He shook my hand. That was about it. So it is what it is, man. I don't really care. He took the L, not me.
Well, I know you might not care about that, but I know you do care about the extra money that you got there. Of course, performance of the night bonus, an extra 50,000 coming your way there. So first off, congrats on that. There, just plans for the money. Do you spend that on something nice? Obviously, and we know you have a family there. Do you just kind of put it away and put it in the savings account?
Well, obviously I have to pay some people out of that, pay taxes on it. So that'd take a good bit of it. I'd like to buy my brother something, and then other than that, I'm just gonna invest it into either like a house or some type of investment, a house, a gym, I don't know, a restaurant, something. I'm gonna invest it into something that'll make me money back.
Good stuff there, man. And the other thing that I want to ask you about too, from this performance here, when we did the interview right before the fight, you said, "You know what? I have a special call out prepared for afterwards, but I don't want to give anything away." And I said, "All right, well, after you get the win and you come back on here, we'll talk about it there." So your call out, a few different moving parts with it. All right, I think you called Hans out from Monster. Fluffy Hernandez was mentioned in the mix. So go ahead and explain the call out that you did there.
Yeah, I mean Hans. Yeah, I talk to him a lot. He's my guy. But yeah, obviously I'm trying to get that monster sponsorship at some point. I've always wanted that. To me, it's always like I don't know. It just I like the brand. Obviously, everyone loves the brand. And then it just kind of feels like, damn, you kind of made it if you got monster. So yeah, that's for monster. And then yeah, I called out Fluffy and Andre Nunez. If I'm gonna fight up, I want to fight Munez. In Rio, I mean, I offered to fight him in his hometown. Not many people are asking to fight him, and no one's offering to fight him in his hometown. So I'm down. I'm with it. I feel like I'm a bad matchup for him. You know, our jiu-jitsu is both good. I think mine's better. I'm sure, thinks his is better. Um, and I think my striking's better, and we're just as big as each other. I mean, I'm always going to feel I'm stronger, but yeah, so that was my call out for him. And then Fluffy, man, if I can't fight up, then I got to fight down because everyone else is booked anyway. Um, I might as well, you know, fight someone, get a rematch. He looked good in his last fights. I look good in this one, so why not run it back? We both come to fight. We both like to fight. It sucked to have to make that call out just because I do like him as a person, but it's just business. I didn't. It's probably the worst fight I've ever had. Um, and so yeah, I just want to right that wrong, but it was a hard one to make.
And about timeline here, if you are to get any of those matchups, right? Because I believe the Brazil one, right? That's coming up here in January. It's kind of fairly right around the corner when you think of getting in terms of shape and training camps and everything else like that. Is that kind of the mindset here? Kind of a decent turnaround, get in there pretty early next year if you could.
Uh, yeah, I mean, preferably it'd be February in America. I mean, I made the Andre Muniz pick because one, I know I'm not in the rankings. Two, I know it's close to home, so not many people are going to want to fight him in his hometown, especially if he's going to fight up. Everyone's booked below him except for me, so I had to make a couple sacrifices, timeline, whatever, to make it work. But I was willing. I'm still willing to do it, but realistically, sometime in February in America is what I'd prefer. But that was just a sacrifice I was willing to make. If it happens, it happens. He already denied it, like he didn't want it, so it's all right. It's whatever.
And now, just a few other things here before we wrap things up. One of the things I wanted to ask you about was I believe it was either right before the fight or right after when you posted it, but it was on your Instagram, and it was a really nice video of all these people saying that they're all in. Of course, all in being your nickname, and all these people that were supporting you and having your back and in your corner there. Just talk about that video a little bit and what that means to you, that you're really kind of starting like this movement and people are really starting to get behind you, and a lot of people want to see you in the rankings finally, me included. I believe it's time that you do crack the rankings there. So, just talk about what it's meant to you to have those people, supporting you for this fight and having your back like that.
It's cool. I really felt like I got a lot of push this time from fans, from the UFC, from friends. Like, I don't know. I feel like I had a lot of support. I mean, obviously from the UFC, I had post after post from them that they made about me, which was super cool. So many people reaching out, commenting, so on and so forth. So it was awesome, man. Like the support was insane. I felt blessed, man. Super blessed. I had a great support system going in. It is what it is, but um, it was awesome.
All right, I got two last things for you here. First of which, this is just a curiosity question here. Whenever you're at the weigh-ins and even at the octagon, you had that hat on. Explain what the hat exactly is and the backstory behind that.
So basically, it's from Kazakhstan. Shavkat Rachmanov gave it to me. We were sitting at dinner one time, actually in Vegas. I was like, man, I'd really like one of your hats, bro. Bring me one. And he was like, I'll bring for you next time I come. His translator did it for me because he's working on his English and it's getting better actually. Um, so anyway, he said he would bring it, and then the next time I think I was finishing camp um for Malkoon in Singapore, and he come in like the week before I left, and he brought me a hat. He surprised me with it. I was like, oh man, this is awesome. So I wore it for that one, and I wore it for this one, and yeah, it's super cool. Get a lot of support from Kazakhstan from it. It's super cool.
I bet it's a good look on you too. There, it really is. It's a badass look. I like the hat a lot there. And then it's the last thing here before we wrap things up. This is for all the fans out there to know as well. So, I believe it was last week I had interviewed a teammate of yours, Daquan Buckley. He's a heavyweight. And when I was preparing for the interview, I had realized I thought he changed gyms at first. I was seeing Killcliff FC. So now, whenever I have you fighters on from Sanford MMA for a little while, I just, in case somebody's watching that isn't aware, Sanford MMA, explain it to everybody. There is a name change at the gym, but not to throw anybody off. It is still the same family and coaches and everybody else from down there. It's just a different name change now. So go ahead and explain all the moving parts that go along with that.
Yeah, that's really it. It's just a different name. We got the new sponsor with Killcliff. So now it's just Killcliff Fight Crew instead of Sanford. That's really how I look at it. For me, it's that simple. I don't know the exact ins and outs. I don't know like how it all happened. I just mind my business and go with the flow, and that's exactly like how it was for me.
I gotcha. All right, man. Really appreciate all the time here today. I know you've been busy there driving around with the kids and everybody, so thanks for making the time for this interview. I really appreciate it. Last thing, as always, before you roll out, social media, management, sponsors, anybody got to give a shout out to? Floor is yours. Take it away.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it as always. Follow me on Instagram, B_Allen185, Brendan All in Allen on Facebook, and Brendan Allen MMA on Twitter. Thank you to obviously to my management, Dominance, Ali, Firdas, everyone that works there. Thank you so much. Thank you to my team at Killcliff. Thank you to my guy Daniel Gracie and John Marquez in Philly. And thank you to my boy Tuco. You know, he was my head coach. He did everything from this camp, no matter what. And we made it happen. Thank you to all my sponsors, Carry Construction, First Form, Wex Gunworks, so many others. I know I'm forgetting the names, man. I hate to forget it. But yeah, and thank you to everyone that supported me. We'll do it again soon. But for now, it's hunting time.
All right, Brendan, good stuff as always, man. Thanks again for doing this. Appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy that wants to get back to the kids and everything there. So, again, congrats on the win. Congrats on the performance of the night bonus, and it was well deserved, too. That was a great performance getting that first round submission win there. And to everybody else watching today's interview, just want to remind you guys to go to the bottom if you like today's interview. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. And I appreciate everyone that watches these interviews and that has subscribed to my YouTube channel. Really do appreciate it. And just before I head out, just want to remind you guys, my MMA news, make sure you go to our social media pages, give us a like and a follow on there, and make sure you guys keep your tabs on the website, checking out all of our great content that comes out literally every single day of the week. We'll see you later, everybody.